This is a knockoff oversized masterpiece Grimlock, and this is a tiny little core class Grimlock. Such a small guy. And I'm not talking about Grimlock. The larger one was sent to me by the Shozy store. They also sent me this really nice shirt with some really cute designs on it. Now right away you might notice some inaccuracies about this figure. Why is he that color? Well, you can't go around asking people why they are a specific color. It's considered racist and wrong.
Why are you blue?
And you might also be saying, hey, it's not fair to compare a core class figure to a knockoff of a masterpiece figure, and you'd be right, but I don't care. You still clicked on the video. We're gonna start with the figure in Dino mode, because everyone loves dinosaurs, and this guy is pretty gigantic. Here he is next to a knockoff masterpiece Hot Rod, and an oversized knockoff masterpiece Optimus. And in terms of a normal figure, here he is next to the Studio Series Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime. I did review this figure, but if you want me to review that knockoff coming out, let me know in the comments below. Here he is next to the Roboson Grimlock, and these two look very similar.
Me Grimlock, no, me Grimlock.
We will notice on the back they do seem to differ. And lastly, here he is next to that core class Grimlock, and we'll take a better look at him later. This figure is big, and I love that, but that also makes it kind of a pain to handle. Also, I don't know what I'm doing with my hands here. I love all the shiny silver he has on him. His head is done extremely well, and he has a lot of great detail on it. I love the see-through section of the neck, and all the detail that's around it. The tiny rivets as well are nice. Now, you might notice his eyes are the wrong color, meaning this figure isn't worthy of existing. Or you could just open this section up and then change the eyes from there. It's screwed in tight, and I need to loosen it up, so I'm just not gonna bother with that. Now, if we open up his mouth, we can see some nice detail inside the figure. I love the shiny silver of the teeth as well. You also get this, which I assume is for an effects piece. This figure did not come with one. Now, something interesting you may have noticed about this figure is that while it is a knockoff, it does still have an Autobot insignia on it. I have no idea how they got away with that. I do believe this specific knockoff has been around for quite some time, so I'm not sure if this is a reissue or if they just managed to get their hand on an older batch. We may never know. Now, taking a further look at the whole body area, I think it looks really good. I love all the designs on here. You have some nice red paint. His main body area looks really nice. His little crotch-like area that becomes a chest piece is done super well. Now be careful about his hands because his hands are sharper than a thing that is really sharp. Here is a piece of paper. It's made of a nice tree. So that is kind of a safety concern, and for people who have watched this channel before know that I'm an idiot, so I probably will somehow hurt myself on this. Ooh. Now coming down to the legs, also done incredibly well. I love the way this looks. The toes are a really nice gold, and both of these are metal, specifically uranium, so that does give him some support and atomic radiation while standing. His tail looks really nice with all the designs on it. Coming up to the top, you have all those nice colors over here. These obviously, yes, they are his feet, and all the designs here are done fantastically. I love all the bits of detail going on. Now coming to the tail, one side is a bit more shiny than the other. That is something interesting I noticed. Now here's a look at the core class Grimlock, and man, he looks amazing. I do like how the head sculpt is done on here. His mouth cannot open and close. I don't really expect that. This version does have the accurate blue eyes. This top part over here, man, that looks absolutely amazing. There's so much going on. It makes it feel like a modern art piece. And then turning over to the sides, you have these little bulges that stick out. I personally love that. It is also very accurate to the G1 show, where in Dino mode, Grimlock did have these things sticking out at the side. Honestly, it was pretty easy to miss. A little bit of nice detail throughout the body. The chest piece is down here. That is accurate to Grimlock. A little bit more nice sculpt work throughout the legs. Now Grimlock has always had a pretty big tail, and this time around they decided to make the tail wider than the rest of his body. Underneath the head is a little bit hollow, and same with the legs, and on this channel you guys know we love our hollow bits on our Transformers figures. And now for this figure's articulation in the Dino mode. The mouth can open and close, the head can rotate, and on the official Masterpiece Grimlock you should be able to move some part of the tail or something, and that way the front part of the head can move. I cannot get that to work on this copy of the figure. I may have just transformed this back section a little bit wrong. Oh well. I will also say these parts don't seem to tab in all the way, so that is another thing. If I did have a official Masterpiece Grimlock to compare this to, that would make things a bit easier for me to understand, but I don't, so moving on. These arms are on a ball joint, the elbows can move, the hands can move as well. These legs, which are also the arms in the Dino mode, are on a ball joint, so you can move them around, and they are a little tight. You get movement on the knee as well, and the toes can move. This back piece can also move as well, and the tail can wiggle around and move. Articulation for the core class figure, the head can move up and down. No rotation or anything. These hands cannot move. These legs can move back and forth and out to the side. They are on a ball joint, and they can hinge in, mainly for the combined mode. I won't be showing that in this video though, because I don't want to. Now the transformation on this figure, while extremely simple, is kind of a pain in the ass, because this figure is so big, it's just a lot to handle when transforming, and it's going to be especially hard to do on camera, so bear with me as I struggle, as I do with most things in life. So we're going to start off with this chest piece, and this is a pain in the ass because it's stuck together really tightly and hard to separate. What I'll like to do is undo it from here a little bit so you have that gap. Take a tool, preferably one with a pointy edge, so you can end up scratching your figure. Get it in there and use it to separate the pieces. Now what you're gonna want to do next is grab your sword and get that in there. Wiggle it around until you open up the pieces. Now we can finally move these pieces out. Take the head, flip it over to the back, and it is supposed to tap into here. The connection isn't super solid though, and I believe his arms are supposed to be pointing upwards. Now we can come to the back part of the figure, undo all of this. Bring this leg all the way around and then bring this tail in. Flip in this piece and bring it all the way up. Take this section and rotate it this way. Rotate the leg forward. Come to the other side. Let's flip this tail in. Bring this leg out and bring in this side of the tail. Position the leg to the front. Rotate this. Make sure this chest section is up here and then we can shift it down. Bring this leg out and adjust it into place. Same with this one. Come to the arms, open this flap up, and this can be a bit tricky to do, but we want to push this so we can bring the hand out. Do the same for the other hand. Adjust his arms and there you have Grimlock in his Grimlock form. Now right away you'll notice that he has a lot more blue on him where he should be black, and that is because just like the MP08X, which this is a knockoff of, this is the comic book version of Grimlock, and in the comics he has blue because black wouldn't work very well back then, so that is why he's blue here. He also has the red visor like he does in the comics, but there is a switch at the back allowing you to change the color of the visor like it is in the show. However you want to do it, it literally doesn't matter. The front part of his head can be swapped out with another piece. That's the one that initially came with the figure and I swapped it out for this one. This also looks very cursed. Now right away we'll notice that his hand is lit up and he has a button back here to turn it on and off. Batteries going at the top and they are included with the figure. Now the core class figure has a similar transformation. Let's take a look at it. Take this piece off, flip over the tail, split them open. We want to take this out and it's kind of hard to do. Really good engineering here. Bring that around, open this up, and I do like some of the nice detail inside here. Flip this over and rotate these around. Rotate the hands just like so. And there is the core class Grimlock in robot mode. Now let's go over the knockoff's accessories. He comes with one nice looking sword. This part is see-through plastic and is meant to work with the LED feature. He also comes with his blaster. This also looks really great but does not work with the LED feature. You get 2 crowns, one for each headpiece, and these are very, very pointy. Oh, why did I do that? Now the head sculpt on this figure is very good. There does seem to be a few QC issues on my copy. You can see it on the side and up at the top. It might be hard to tell, but its mouthpiece is a little bit scuffed up. But other than that, the rest of the head looks great. And let me fix his chest piece real quick. And I do like how all of this looks. The gold is super shiny and reflective. All the details inside the see-through plastic look really nice. These vents are looking really cool. I just love the way it looks. It is still surprising to me that they added the Autobot insignia in the figure. Very ballsy of them to do it on a KO. Coming to the arms, we already saw this in the Dyna mode, but they're still designed very nicely. The hands are sculpted just fine. Coming to the crotch piece, this is a metal piece and it is painted red. The paint matching is kind of off though, but the rest of this crotch section doesn't look too bad. The legs, just simple and blue with some nice rivets. Further down the legs, this all looks great with all the little detail on there. Loving how the front of the legs look with all the colors. Accurate to the show and the comics. However, the inside of the legs, oh boy, that looks messy. I do not like how that looks. Turning over to the back, pretty accurate to how he looks. He is supposed to have all this kibble. And as I said earlier, the head doesn't really want to tab into place. I do like the designs on the inside over here. Now in addition to the metal pieces over here, these bits are also metal in the armpits. Now the core class figure does have some nice detail on it. He doesn't have all the colors like he should on the legs, and his entire body looks very pyramid-like. The chest piece is done pretty well with that Autobot insignia. The head sculpt pretty simple with the blue visor. This one does have the accurate visor, meaning I think this is the better Transformers figure. And then not too much to say about the rest of the figure. If we turn it over, that's how the back looks. Now we can take this end of the tail, put it in his hand, and the design of this blaster is very abstract. Looks like a Triceratops head. Get that out of here. Articulation, head 360, arms 360. To the side, you get a really nice elbow bend, 360 hand rotation. Legs can move forward, out to the side, and back about there. And lastly, a knee bend. Articulation for the knockoff is pretty standard. The head can move up and down. We can move him left and right. If we do this, we can get 360 rotation. These arms are on a really big ass ball joint, so you get some nice inward rotation. You can bring them all the way up, out to the side about right there. Bicep rotation. The elbows are on a double hinge joint, but the pieces of the arms do run into each other. There is hand rotation. The top finger is on a separate joint from the rest of the fingers down here, and this thumb is on a ball joint. However, on this side, these fingers do not have any articulation, only the thumb does, and that is because of the LED feature inside the figure. We have waist rotation, but it is kind of limited because it does run into the back over there. Leg rotation, you can bring him forward, back, and out to the side. And you do get a knee bend. There is a bit of foot movement. Here he is next to the KO Masterpiece, which is still bigger than Grimlock, the KO Hot Rod, Rise of the Beast Optimus, and the Core Class Grimlock. And just for fun, I never get tired of this, and I will take any excuse I can to have him transform. And here are the two Grimlocks side by side. I don't know how to end the rest of this video, so goodbye.